Hey guys, it's Sign here with HobbiesofaMan. Once again, today we're doing another comic book issue review. Today we're looking at Flash Gordon number 3 by Jeremy Adams and Will Conrad with coloring by Lou Lockride and Taylor Esposito on the letters, right? So this is a pretty good issue. I think it's really interesting from a character's perspective because this is Ming's origin story. We get to learn that he was a test tube baby. He was kind of like, I can't remember if this is to the comic books or if this is from movies, right? But this whole idea that, you know, Krypton moved away from natural birthing stuff and they tried to do stuff like test tube babies in order to get the greatest type of results every time. Maybe that's from the movies, maybe it's from a fan fiction I read, I can't remember, but you know, that sort of idea. Basically, it turns out that Ming and the people at manga do the same thing, at least in terms of like the high ups, right? The royals. And he was made in a test tube in order to create the greatest possible heir, you know, overall. He's born, he's raised with a huge group of others, other boys just like him. I'm not sure if they're clones or if they're slightly different. You know, all of them are slightly different. I don't know. Either way, it feels very similar to the Clone Wars characters, right? Like they all live in these barracks. They're all very similar. They all exist as a unit, but also individuals in a really weird way. And I really enjoy it because I think it's a really cool concept in this kind of like, you know, cross-pollination of like Flash Gordon to Star Wars to Flash Gordon, and you know, this kind of back and forth that these things have, right? And so it turns out that he's smarter. He's not the greatest physically, which I guess means that they're all different, but he manages to find a scenario in which all of the characters, all of the other boys in this region that he's in, will all fight against each other, and then they will all die. And so him being the only survivor left, being the smartest, becomes the heir. He's raised by the royals at this point, the king and his mother, or the king and the queen, who are his dad and mother, give him everything. They eventually teach him, you know, meaningful things, and then he poisons them to take their power. And this is basically his final test. His father is proud of him, even though he's dying, because he did the right thing. He is a strong ruler in this case, although maybe that's not really the right way to rule. And we come back to the present to see that he's doing the exact same thing to this warden here. And so he kills him by poisoning him, but before he dies, he convinces him that he has the antidote and he'll get it if he changes the kind of like biolock on his ship so that it answers to Ming instead of the warden, right? The warden does it because he's trying to save his life, and it turns out that Ming was lying. He doesn't have an antidote, and so the warden dies. And as this is happening, we get to see that Flash is fighting the champion, which is this like Tarkus looking character, and it's a really cool fight. It's really fun, but it's not really the focus, and I'm a bit disappointed about that. I would have liked to see this be the focus of the issue, but I guess there will be more opportunity for that later, so it's not that big of a deal, right? Flash manages to escape. He manages to catch up to Ming, and then he has a final battle with the champion at the hangar bay, where they manage to position themselves in such a way that when Ming turns on the ship, the jet engine, the fire from the engine burns the champion to a crisp, and so they manage to survive. Ming is forced to do a truce with Gordon, or maybe the other way around, in order to escape. And I'm excited about this. I think this is be really fun. There's a lot of tension here between Ming and Flash, who are, you know, basically mortal enemies. And I'm excited to see what happens in the next issue. I think that this was really well written. I love knowing about Ming. I think it's great that we got a backstory for him. And I'm very excited for the way that Flash is going to interact with him going forward, right? So we'll see what happens here, but overall, really good stuff. So let me know what you thought down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later.